On this special episode of Supercars Talk, I asked the question, was Scott McLaughlin's Indy500 debut a success? Pretty simple. Of course it was. The result in the end wasn't so great, but overall he did a pretty good job. Most of the day he was looking very strong in the Penske team. Newgarden and Pagenaud had strong runs in there. Scott was making his way forward through the field as well. Power as well. Scott, he ended up speeding in the pit lane, bit of a rookie error, but he didn't spin in the pit lane like Power did. Simona also spun in the pit lane. Ryan Hunter-Ray, all people who are a lot more experienced than McLaughlin. His 500 was a success. There's actually not much to talk about because other than that little mistake that kind of cost him dearly, which he ended up coming 20th, it was a very, very successful. He didn't look out of his depth. I did wonder, it was kind of coming in the deep end, but my God, he has been so impressive so far this year. There was, some impressive guys and some disappointing guys actually in the race. Helio winning his fourth, that just, this is a guy who Penske, 4 years ago now, decided that he didn't want him full-time driving. He shuffled him off to sports cars, pulled the pin on him, essentially for Scott coming in. So Helio was told, you're no longer required as a, special for the Indy 500. Maya Shank picked him up. I thought, Jack Harvey's results have been in that team. It's hard to put him into context, but maybe I want to say Craig Lowndes, but I think, or Garth Tander, I think both of them could come back and do the job. It would essentially be, because Craig Lowndes probably could win Bathurst if you brought him in as a lead driver. Same with Garth Tander. So, maybe like bringing, say, Rick Kelly or someone like that back in a couple of years' time as a lead driver at Bathurst and then them coming out and winning. I did not see that coming. I was very surprised. Alex Palou second as well. So this guy, this is his second season in the category. Last year he came in driving for Dale Coyne, which is, probably about the Matt Stone Racing kind of level of team in the series. And he had some quite impressive results for that team last year. But at the start of last year, you had all the kind of Facebook warriors pumping away on their keyboards going, who is this guy stealing our jobs? And he took our jobs. That South Park meme. There's a lot of that. He did pretty well over the year. And then he got the job at Ganassi when Felix, who was supposed to be the second coming that was going to win everything, he did take one win over 2 years. I nearly said Andretti at Ganassi's, but it's not. It's hard because that second car at Ganassi's hasn't really done much. It's just been Scott Dixon dominating. So his one win in that car is actually better than what the car had done for quite a few years. Palou has kind of come in as a bit of a nobody who was looking a bit like a journeyman that had money behind him. He's come in with a top team. He's already won a race this year and he finished second in the 500, which has just blown away anything that Felix Rosenqvist has done there. He was the second, the messiah who was going to come in and dominate IndyCar racing for years to come. Other notable results, I am a big Juan Montoya fan. He came in 9th. You didn't even realise that he was in the race. I think qualified mid-20s and just kind of plodded his way to the front. Scott Dixon in 17th. Scott Dixon's a weird one because I'm not really a fan of his, but I probably should be because of the whole New Zealand thing. But it just doesn't kind of do it for me. So him running out of fuel and all of that, I didn't do too much for him. And then I saw it happen to Rossi and I was sad. So, make of that what you will. Scott McLaughlin came 20th. Will Power in 30th after spinning coming into the pits. He was actually looking for a really good result, and it could have been interesting towards the end because Pagano ended up coming third. So it would have been interesting who would have actually been the top Penske car at the end of the race, the way all their strategies were playing out. And Simona Di Silvestro in 31st. If she didn't spin in the pits, would we have even known she was in the race? So anyway, that's my very, very quick wrap of the Indy 500. Normally wouldn't do something like this because it is Supercars Torque, but because we have got, Aussies and New Zealanders in there, and especially Scott McLaughlin, who is doing a great job. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Have you started following IndyCar since Scott has gone over? Does seem to be a lot more people in our neck of the woods paying interest in it now. Scott Dixon and Will Power haven't really moved the needle on that, but because we've got a driver who, we've kind of grown to love or hate, we seem to be paying a bit more attention to what's going over there. So let me know down in the comments, have you been a long-time IndyCar fan? What did you think of the race? Were you happy that Helio finally got his fourth and kind of, stuck it to Team Penske? So anyway, just a quick, short, sharp one, this one. I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.